Hey everyone, how's it going? It's me, Goose. So, today is Q15? 14? I don't know. But today I had no idea what exactly to talk about, so I'm just gonna take questions again. I don't know, there's this whole discussion about whether or not loot boxes are a gambling thing. Hawaii's already passed a law that makes them basically gambling, so if you play any video games that's like that, it's considered a gambling thing. But I'm just like, it doesn't really interest me much. I don't really have an argument nor a counter argument whether it is or is not a gambling issue. I don't really have an opinion for that, so I'm not going to talk about it. Also, there's that whole thing that happened, that whole controversy incident that happened the other week that it kind of involves video games as well, because a lot of senators have been talking about whether that incident was caused by video games and media in general, and I just don't really feel like entertaining that thought. It doesn't seem like something I would really want to talk about, because it's scapegoating. It's scapegoating. I'm stuttering, but it's just scapegoating. That's all it is. It's nothing more, nothing less, and there's no reason to even get mad about it, because that's all people will talk about, and it's a distraction to the real issues. Plus, if I talk about that, I might get demonetized, so I'm not gonna entertain that idea at all. So let's just take in some questions. Remember guys, if you ever want to leave any questions down in any of my videos, just leave a hashtag Q on any single video I made in the past 2 weeks and I'll find it. But for today, I kind of didn't want to find any, so I just asked everyone on my community page. Oh, by the way, everybody should click on that little notification bell right there, so that way you get updated on my videos whenever they're posted, and live streams, because I'm going to be doing more live streams later, and also you'll get notifications on whenever I ask people questions on my community tab. So let's get started with today's question by Hollow Man, who asks, what are your thoughts on games taking a trine and becoming more like Last of Us, having a more realistic feel like the new God of War? Do you think Naughty Dog will ever return to being cool, colorful platformer again, or something in between like Jak 2? Thanks for the question. I don't... Okay, so there's an issue with that. Okay, I don't care if video games want to go the whole movie route. I feel like there's this hubris growing that movies are not as cool as video games. I feel like video game companies are trying to get through this idea that they can be more than just games, you know, trying to get the game aspect out of the video game phrase, right? So they're just trying to be more like movies. So like you said, Last of Us is much more like a movie than it is a game. Without a doubt, the gameplay's pretty good, the stealth mechanic's pretty good, the story is even better. And I am so mixed about that. I don't care if they want to do that, that's fine. I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to make this art form into something more, right? And it's proving out to be actually, you know, beneficial to them, because there's rumors of like talks of Last of Us movies and TV shows and comic books. I mean, the comic books always happen. They always happen. The fucking Dark Souls comics came out. Bloodborne comics is gonna come out soon. You know, there's always comic books for video games, but anytime I hear there's a movie deal for these games, like, for example, Uncharted or fucking Lara Croft's Tomb Raider, that fucking movie is coming out, what, next month? Oh, God, I'm not excited for that. But whenever movies are made based off of those things, it's kind of weird. Because, like I said, you want to make your game into more of a movie, that's cool. But if you make your movie game into an actual movie, aren't you just going backwards? Like, don't you want the game to just be a game, just to be that media? I mean, I understand the benefits of expanding your universe into this movie, you know, so that way more people can be exposed to video games and such. I understand that, but I don't know. Also, I do enjoy myself some good video games that are basically movies, you know, like the whole story-heavy, story-driven games. I don't mind. I love playing those games too. But what I do mind is when those games become more movie than game, and I hate that shit so much. Right, again, like Cutscenes are fine. You want to be more story driven? That's fine too. Cool. But when you start giving me more cutscenes than actual games, or like you start giving me gameplay that's more like just watching while I hold the control stick up kind of segments, I fucking hate that. I don't know what it is about third-person shooter games or just third-person over-the-shoulder games. I don't know what it is about those formats, but anytime I play those games, they always seem to have some sort of, oh no, I'm crippled, I have to limp now for the next 20 minutes section. I don't know why, and that's annoying to me, and it adds nothing. It adds nothing. Like, you're just showing that your character is hurt. I understand that. You can portray that hurt through other methods, like say, maybe a cutscene. But if you're just doing it to be annoying now, there's no reason you should be making my character limp for like the next 10 minutes just because, oh no, they got shot in the leg, even though in the past fucking 3 hours I've been playing this game, I've gotten shot in the head, in the testicles, everywhere else. I've gotten bludgeoned by all sorts of blunt objects, zombies bitten my arm, and now all of a sudden I get a little boo-boo on my leg, and oh no, I'm limping for the next 10 minutes now. All to show that the character is hurt. There's no reason you should be doing that, and I hate those sections so much. But if you want to make your gameplay more realistic, if you want to make it more real, like God of War was such a weird thing to turn into like this realism turn angle, because it was such a character action game that it hurt. Like, there were just combos and ripping people's arms off, fucking gouging people's eyes, the gods' eyes. Like, you were doing all sorts of crazy shit, and now it seems more down to earth. I mean, of course there are giant monsters still, and giant mythical beasts that are attacking Kratos and his son and his magnificent beard, but I don't really care about his relationship with his son. I understand the angle they're trying to take, but in the end, I'm probably not going to care. I'm going to care more about taking off the giant's head or severing the head of a giant lizard or something like that. So just give me something to punch and kick and kill, and I'll be more interested. It's God of fucking War. I'm probably not going to... I mean, really, how deep can you get in the lore of God of War? He fucked like 5 different women and made them all his wife. You're gonna tell me he added one more to the dog pile of wives he used to have? I don't know. Oh, whatever. But hey, thanks for the question. I think I answered it, or maybe I just got off track. Oh yeah, your other part of the question was, will Naughty Dog ever return back to the cool part, blah, 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 the platforming, right? No, probably not. I don't see that happening. I mean, even the remakes that have been made lately aren't even made by Naughty Dog. Like, Naughty Dog made Crash Bandicoot, but another dude, some other company made the remake, and everything else is going to be made by that company too, I'm sure. Like Jak and Daxter, if there ever is a sequel to Jak and Daxter, if they ever feel like making another one, it's probably going to be a remake or a reboot or something made by some other company. They're going to sell the rights to some other company because they don't give a shit anymore. They just care about being this massive movie franchise, but with video games. I just don't see them returning back to that sort of shit. Plus, platformers are so difficult to make, really. Like, the only people who could ever really make platformers successful is Nintendo, and that's because they're masters at the craft. Like, the moment we transitioned from 2D to 3D, everyone just sort of fell off, and it was this whole thing that rocked the gaming world, and nobody can really recover. It's hard to make platformers for 3D stuff, unless, of course, you're one of the more passionate people, like, you know, the guys who made The Hat in Time and made it an amazing game. I don't know. I just don't see people going back to platformers anytime soon, unless, of course, you're from Nintendo. So, yeah. Well, thank you for your question. I'm blah, 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 blah. Let's go to the next question. Next question is by John Doe. You asked, you once said, try to make friends with weird people. What would a normal conversation go with them? With my circle of weird people, it's really not that interesting, really. When you make friends with weird people in high school, it's not that interesting. Honestly, it's not. Maybe I made the wrong circle of friends, or the wrong weird people. But if I were to be honest, the weird people were either really cringy or just fucking stupid. Like, it's it's not cool, really. That's why there's difference between the weird kids and the cool kids. The cool kids hang out and actually go out. The weird kids often are the ones who just make meme references, and that's all the weird kids I ever knew anyways made. They only made meme jokes, like fucking Nyan Cat, like old 2000s kind of memes, you know, like fucking over 9000 or all your base belong to us. It's so cringy. They just made those kinds of jokes all the time, and they made references to a lot of Ego Raptor animations, and it's not fun, really. But if you're into that, go ahead and you know, be a part of that crew. But I'm sure some of you are like thinking, oh, well, what about Skylar's? Yeah, Skylar was the exception. He was a weirdo otherkin dude who thought he was a wolf. And a lot of people seem to think that he's a furry, and I don't think he was a furry. He never had an affinity for any sort of furry creatures. Like, he never shown any sort of interest in cartoony creatures, like, you know, Chippendale or fucking, I don't know, what's another, Star Fox or anything like that. He just really liked being a wolf. He was just a very weird dude who liked to pretend he was a wolf, and I don't know, that's just who he was. It's like, he's just cringy. He was an edgelord. He was an edgelord. That's what he was. But the other weird kids are just so stupid. Some of the weird kids are more intellectual. Like, they're like, they had good grades, and they would talk about math shit. And I know you would assume that those are the nerds, but they're still part of the weird kid gang because they hated video games. So, you know, nerds to me are people who like video games and pop culture shit, like comic book stuff, you know. But those kids, I don't know, it's kind of boring. So, but seriously, try to make friends with the weird ones, like the actual weird ones, like the Skylars out there. Unless they're gonna be some massive creepo weirdo in the future that you never want to be associated with, maybe don't be friends with. Actually, no, be friends with them even harder to either A, prevent them from being that one guy in the future, or B, hey, free news interview, right? I knew the kid one time. He seemed like a normal kid, then suddenly he snapped. You know? Hey, I don't know. Fuck it. But anyways, thank you for your question. And last question is by Link536 Vlog. I know it's not a lot of questions, and I know this one's a pretty short queue, but I really didn't have a topic to talk about, so it's just like kind of day, you know? But anyways, do you like JRPGs in general? I don't know. JRPGs are kind of like a blur to me now. They're just like sort of like, there are definitely some pretty good ones, but my first JRPG ever, if you can count it, was Chrono Trigger. It's like knocking right there. Anyways, my favorite RPG ever was Chrono Trigger, and that was the first game I ever played, so that was like a pretty high bar to fulfill. And the next one I remember owning was what was it, Eternal Sonata. And Eternal Sonata just looked interesting to me because it was one of the first games I seen that had like cel-shaded graphics, and I really like Wind Waker, so I was like, oh, this looks really nice and pretty and lovely. I loved the demo that I had for the Xbox 360, so I'm just gonna buy this game. And it was like for $10 on a bargain bin sale, and I loved it as a kid. But if I'm sure, if I were to play it again, I don't think it's gonna be as fun as I remembered it, but I'm sure it's still good. I just don't remember most of it. I just remember one character's death that I won't spoil, and her death, oh well, shit, I said her, but anyways, her death was like the funniest fucking thing ever, because it was like a 60-minute monologue death. She talked about how, oh no, if only I did this and that, and it was like the longest cutscene ever, and it was like so fucking hilarious. I couldn't take it seriously. But I mean, I like the game. It's just meh. I don't know. Like, I feel like me getting into JRPGs now would, not be that great. I just feel like they're all so like similar. Tales of Anything games just look so the same, and I don't know what it is about JRPGs, but they're so cost effective. Like they seem to take corners with everything, you know. Like, hey, how about let's not make that many polygons? How about let's not make a super HD 4K game? Let's just cut some corners and make it look like a PS2 game, and people will buy it, and people do buy it, and it's kind of crazy that we can still get away with that. But you know, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. JRPGs are yeah, but also it goes back to like me not liking anime. A lot of JRPGs just have anime-esque kind of you know, stories and character designs, and they're just so boring and bland and stupid. Eternal Sonata had that same kind of story too, except with like kind of a twist, because it featured a real life human being that existed in history, with like some cutscenes that were talking about his life in the past. It's fucking weird, but whatever. I still like the game, and at least I remember liking the game. I don't know. I gotta play that again. Would you guys like to see a stream of me playing Eternal Sonata? I know it's a weird request from me to you, but I really wouldn't mind getting back on that train and playing it all over again, just to see like if it's still as good as I remember it. But you know, whatever. Anyways, guys, that's really all the questions I have now, unless I refresh here on my page and see if anybody has any good questions. I did have a few. Some of y'all wanted me to talk about the incident that I was talking about earlier, but like I said, I just don't want to be fodder to that kind of attention. Like, I don't want to talk about something that clearly doesn't need to be talked about. It's just, like I said, it's just scapegoating, and if I talk about it, make issue, and if I make light of those statements that those senators made, then I'll be ignoring the issues that are actually at hand. So I don't feel like talking about it. I also don't feel like getting demonetized again, but whatever. We'll talk. Well, I don't know. If you guys really want me to talk about it, maybe I'll do it next week, but we'll see. Anyways, guys, thank you all so very much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Also, click on the bell icon so you could get notified on all the things like the community stuff and live streams and all that stuff. Plus, if you want to support me on Patreon, there it is down below. Link is in the description, and PayPal is just direct. And let me see, am I missing anything? Oh yeah, if you want to leave a Q, just leave a hashtag Q, and I will read it on the next video, which is like 2 weeks from now. So yeah, I love y'all so very much, and I'll see y'all next time. Love y'all.